Chosen one, stop for a moment. Do not move past these words. Something inside you has been stirring, and heaven has not ignored it. Archangel Michael is not bringing you a weapon today. He is identifying the one you have carried for years without understanding its name. This message did not arrive by accident. You were led here because a hidden part of you is waking up. You have felt it in quiet rooms. You have sensed it around certain people. And lately, the signs have become too precise to dismiss as imagination. You walk into a place and feel the tension before anyone speaks. Faces look calm, but your spirit catches what words are hiding. You notice the shift in a voice. You see the pause behind a smile. And before the truth appears, something within you already knows. People have called you too sensitive. They told you that you think too much. They made you question what you felt, because admitting that you were right would have forced them to face themselves. So you learned to silence your first knowing, even when it later proved true. But your sensitivity was never the problem. Your lack of boundaries was the wound. You were receiving more than you knew how to carry, and you blamed yourself for the weight. Heaven did not create you weak. Heaven created you aware. You have stood near someone and felt tired without explanation. Minutes earlier, your mind was clear. Then their presence entered your space, and your body became heavy. You did not understand the change, but your inner system was reading what your eyes could not yet see. There were nights when you woke between 3 and 4 in the morning. The room was still, yet your spirit felt alert. Sometimes a name entered your mind. Sometimes you felt the need to pray. And sometimes you simply stared into the darkness, knowing the silence was carrying a message. Strangers have also told you their deepest secrets. They did not know why they trusted you. You may not have understood it either. But something in your presence made hidden things rise, because truth feels safer near someone who can hold it without turning it into a weapon. This is why false people often react strongly to you. You do not need to accuse them. You do not need to expose them. Your presence creates pressure around what is divided, and people who are not honest with themselves can feel seen before you say a single word. That reaction confused you for years. You wondered whether you were difficult. You replayed conversations. You apologized for things you never did. And while you searched for a flaw in yourself, others quietly responded to the clarity they could not control around you. Chosen one, hear this carefully. The weapon inside you is not anger. It is not revenge. It is not the ability to dominate another person. Anything that requires you to become cruel is not divine power. Real authority does not need chaos to prove that it exists. Archangel Michael represents ordered strength. He does not fight from panic. He does not move from wounded pride. He stands under divine instruction, and that order is why darkness cannot pull him into confusion. The message for you begins in that same principle. You have already used this weapon without knowing it. You used it when you refused to answer an insult. You used it when you left a room instead of feeding conflict. You used it when your silence forced someone to hear the echo of their own behavior. You thought those moments meant you were powerless. You believed strength required a louder voice. But there are battles that grow stronger when you react, and there are forces that lose access to you the moment you become still. Your restraint was never empty. Stillness is not weakness when it is chosen. Silence is not fear when it is guided. A boundary is not rejection when it protects what God entrusted to you. The world trained you to confuse reaction with power, but heaven is teaching you a deeper language. Some of that awareness grew sharper through pain, but pain did not create the gift. Pain forced the gift to work without rest. You carried other people before you knew how to carry yourself, and the weapon became a burden because no one taught you its purpose. This is why exhaustion followed you. Your spirit kept working after your body stopped. You entered every room as a watcher, a listener, and a protector. Even during rest, Part of you remained on duty, waiting for the next change in the atmosphere. You were never meant to absorb everything you could detect. A watchman sees danger, but does not become it. A healer notices pain, but does not have to store it. A chosen one can recognize darkness without inviting it to live inside the heart. There is a difference between awareness and agreement. You can sense fear without accepting it. You can notice manipulation without arguing with it. You can feel the weight in a room and still refuse to make that weight your identity. This distinction will change everything. The weapon is not only what you perceive, it is what happens when perception, stillness, and authority become one movement inside you. And that movement has been forming through every season you thought was wasted. Even the betrayals carried a hidden lesson. They showed you where compassion had become permission. They revealed where kindness had lost wisdom. And they taught you that love without discernment can become an open door for people who only know how to take. Archangel Michael is not telling you to harden your heart. He is telling you to guard its gates. A guarded heart can still love. A protected spirit can still serve. But neither must remain available to every demand, every crisis, and every person who mistakes grace for endless access. There is another sign you may recognize. Your words sometimes carry more weight than you intended. You speak one honest sentence, and the room changes. Someone remembers it for years. Someone becomes defensive. Someone begins healing because you named what everyone else avoided. But there is still something you do not know. Discernment is one layer. Restraint is another. Presence is another. Yet none of these alone is the weapon Archangel Michael is pointing toward. They are only the outer edges of something much deeper. The true weapon is older than every system that tried to define you. It does not come from status. It does not come from money. It does not come from human approval. It comes alive when your spirit, your mind, and your voice stop fighting against each other. But first, you must understand why the weapon was forced underground. The greatest attack did not begin with an enemy standing in front of you. It began when you learned that being fully yourself might cost you love, belonging, and safety. If these words are naming something you have carried for years, write, "I recognize what I carry." Do not write it from fear. Write it as a witness to your own awakening. Let the words mark the moment you stopped calling your gift a burden. Stay close. The next truth explains why this weapon felt strongest during your hardest seasons, and why it seemed to disappear when you needed it most. What was buried was not destroyed. It was waiting for you to become safe enough to carry it with wisdom. You were not wrong to feel that something inside you went quiet. It did not die. It withdrew. When a gift is forced to survive too much noise, it stops presenting itself as confidence and begins hiding beneath caution, fatigue, and the need to stay acceptable. I want to name something early, because honesty matters more than suspense. There is a 7-minute brain entrainment audio called The Genius Song. It was created to support gamma activity, deeper focus, and the kind of mental clarity that helps scattered parts of the mind begin working together again. The verified path is in the description and the pinned comment for anyone who already feels ready to explore it. But you do not need to leave this message now. Stay here, because the tool will make far more sense once you understand what buried your clarity in the first place. The audio does not create a divine gift that was never there. It does not turn an ordinary person into someone chosen. It is presented as support for a state your mind may have accessed more naturally before fear, pressure, and constant emotional vigilance taught you to live in fragments. Now return to the deeper truth. Your weapon was not destroyed by rejection. It was covered. Every time you ignored a warning inside yourself to keep someone comfortable, another layer formed. Every time you doubted what you sensed, your inner authority became harder to reach. There were moments when you knew something was wrong before proof appeared, yet you stayed, you explained, you waited, you gave another chance. Deep inside, your spirit had already spoken, but your fear of losing connection became louder than the truth. This is how a chosen one becomes separated from the weapon within, not through one dramatic event, through small acts of self-abandonment repeated until they feel like kindness. You thought you were protecting peace, but often you were protecting people from the consequences of their own choices. The first outer layer of the weapon is discernment. This is your ability to recognize what is present beneath appearances. It notices patterns, timing, inconsistency, and motive before the visible story becomes complete. Discernment is quiet. It may arrive as a pause before agreement, a heaviness near a decision, or a calm knowing that a path is not yours. The problem began when you demanded courtroom proof from a message that first arrived as spiritual recognition. The second outer layer is restraint. This is not suppression. It is the ability to choose your response instead of surrendering it to another person. When someone provokes you, restraint keeps your energy from becoming fuel for the pattern that came to drain you. The third outer layer is presence. Your presence carries information before your mouth speaks. A settled spirit changes the emotional temperature of a room. Some people relax around it. Others become uncomfortable because inner division feels exposed near someone who is no longer divided. These three layers explain much of your life. Discernment showed you what others missed. Restraint stopped you from becoming what hurt you. Presence revealed truth without force. Yet Archangel Michael is pointing beyond all three, because they are parts, not the center. The center was hidden under an old survival promise. You made it during a season when belonging felt uncertain. The promise may have sounded harmless. I will not say too much. I will not shine too brightly. I will make myself easier to accept. You did not speak that promise in a ceremony. You formed it through repetition. Each time honesty brought rejection, you softened the truth. Each time strength made someone insecure, you apologized. Each time your intuition challenged a relationship, you questioned yourself instead. That is why the weapon felt strongest in crisis. Pressure stripped away performance. There was no time to please everyone. Your knowing became clean. Your voice became direct. For a moment, fear lost control, and the deeper architecture inside you moved as one. You are not called to become cold. You are called to become clear. Coldness shuts the heart. Clarity guards the gate. Coldness punishes everyone for one wound. Clarity observes each person honestly and gives access according to wisdom. There is a reason crowds can exhaust you. Your attention reaches outward before you notice it happening. You scan faces. You read tone. You sense tension. Without boundaries, this ability turns every environment into an assignment, even when heaven never asked you to carry it. You were not designed to repair every atmosphere. Sometimes your instruction is to leave. Sometimes it is to remain silent. Sometimes it is to pray privately. And sometimes the strongest act of authority is refusing to make another person's chaos your personal emergency. Your weapon begins returning when you stop volunteering for every battle. Energy gathers where attention is no longer leaking. The mind becomes clearer. The body becomes calmer. Your inner signals become easier to recognize because they are no longer competing with borrowed emotions. You may feel guilt as the weapon rises. That guilt does not always mean you are wrong. Sometimes guilt is only the feeling of breaking a pattern that once kept you connected. The nervous system can interpret freedom as danger when captivity has felt familiar for years. This is where patience matters. You do not need to rebuild your entire life in one day. Begin with one honest boundary. Trust one clear signal. Delay one impulsive answer. Let stillness return before you make decisions that shape your next season. The weapon is not activated by desperation. It strengthens through alignment. Your spirit, mind, voice, and choices must stop pulling in opposite directions. When they begin moving together, people will call it confidence, but heaven will recognize something deeper. Still, a question remains. If discernment, restraint, and presence have always been inside you, why has your life felt delayed? Why have doors stayed closed? Why has clarity appeared in flashes instead of remaining available? The answer is not that you were forgotten. The answer is not that another person permanently stole your power. There is a hidden agreement still operating beneath your decisions, and it decides how much truth you allow yourself to carry before you retreat. In the next movement, you will see the ancient pattern behind that agreement. You will understand why ordered strength defeats confusion and why Archangel Michael does not need chaos to establish authority. What you call delay may have been training for precision. Remember this before we continue. What was buried was not destroyed. What became quiet was not absent. The outer layers are already visible, but the center has not yet been named. And when that center is revealed, you will understand why your greatest weapon never needed to harm anyone. Chosen one. The ancient pattern begins with order. Archangel Michael does not move from panic. He does not fight to prove that he is powerful. He stands under authority, and that alignment keeps confusion from controlling his next move. The enemy does not always need to overpower you. Sometimes it only needs to provoke you. One reckless answer can pull you away from wisdom. One wounded decision can turn clarity into noise. And once your inner world becomes divided, the weapon inside you cannot move with precision. Michael represents a different form of strength. His authority is not loud because it does not depend on approval. He does not borrow identity from conflict. He does not become darkness while confronting darkness. His power remains clean because his position remains clear. That same pattern appears in the life of David. David was anointed long before the public recognized him. He carried a promise while living in delay. The waiting did not cancel his identity, but it tested whether pain would corrupt the person chosen to carry authority. Saul hunted him. Fear surrounded him. Opportunities for revenge appeared. Yet David faced a deeper battle than physical danger. He had to resist becoming the kind of man who wounded him because a stolen throne would have poisoned the promise he was waiting to receive. This is where your story becomes personal. You have also been tempted to answer pain with pain. You knew exactly where to strike. But something inside warned that winning the argument could cost you the purity of your calling. Restraint protected more than the other person. It protected you. It kept your gift from becoming a tool of revenge. It preserved the difference between authority and control. The world called your silence weakness, but heaven saw discipline forming beneath the surface. David did not lose power by refusing revenge. He proved that power had stopped ruling him. Anyone can act from wounded impulse, but a chosen one learns to hold strength without letting strength become an idol, because the gift must remain submitted to the giver. There is another ancient pattern. Daniel prayed, but the answer seemed delayed. Silence stretched across the days. Nothing visible changed. Yet, the delay did not mean heaven had ignored him. The story reveals a conflict beyond what Daniel could see, and Michael entered that unseen resistance. But unseen formation was taking place. Your patience was tested. Your motives were purified. Your dependence on immediate proof was challenged. And the weapon inside you was learning to remain steady without constant reassurance from the people around you. That is why your hardest seasons sharpened you. They forced your attention inward. They exposed every place where your peace depended on another person's response. They revealed whether you trusted the quiet signal inside or only trusted truth after someone else agreed. Now the message goes deeper. The spiritual pattern also has a mental expression. When fear pulls your attention in many directions, the mind loses coherence. Thoughts compete. Emotions interrupt perception. Memory becomes less reliable. Even a gifted person can feel slow when inner noise consumes the available space. But when attention becomes ordered, different parts of the mind begin working together. Scientists use the word gamma for a pattern associated with intense focus, integration, insight, and rapid links between information. It is not magic, it is a measurable state connected with clarity. For a chosen one, this matters because your gift requires connection. Discernment notices a signal. Memory compares patterns. Wisdom weighs meaning. Restraint chooses the response. When these functions work together, decisions feel clean. When they become fragmented, every signal feels confusing. This is why constant stress can make a powerful person doubt everything. The gift may still be present, but the channel becomes crowded. You sense something, then fear argues. You know a boundary is needed, then guilt interrupts. You receive clarity, then overthinking dissolves it. Later, you will see why certain structured sound patterns are being studied as support for deeper mental coherence. But first, you must identify what keeps breaking that coherence whenever your power begins to rise. A tool can support the doorway, but it cannot choose truth for you. Stay close, because the next truth changes everything. The greatest restraint on your power was not placed there by another person. It was hidden inside a promise you made when you were wounded, and you may still be obeying that promise without knowing it. You made that promise to survive rejection. You made it when honesty felt dangerous. You made it when being fully seen seemed to threaten love, belonging, or safety. The words were never spoken aloud, but your choices repeated them until they became an inner law. That law told you to soften every truth. It told you to wait for permission. It told you to protect people from the discomfort created by your boundaries. And each time you obeyed it, your spirit remained gifted while your life stayed divided. Now consider what has been revealed. Discernment allows you to recognize what others miss. Restraint keeps your response from becoming another person's weapon. Presence changes the atmosphere before your hands move. These three powers have shaped your journey from the beginning. It would be easy to stop here. You could call discernment the weapon. You could call silence the weapon. You could call presence the weapon. Each answer would contain truth, but none would explain why those abilities work together sometimes and disappear when fear grows loud. Discernment without restraint can become suspicion. Restraint without discernment can become passivity. Presence without inner order can become pressure. The outer layers need a center. Without that center, your gift remains powerful but unpredictable, and your peace depends on the environment. The true weapon is the force that joins them. It allows perception, stillness, memory, wisdom, and voice to move in one direction. Archangel Michael recognizes this pattern because ordered authority has always been stronger than chaotic force. But the center cannot remain active while you obey an agreement to become smaller. That agreement divides your spirit from your voice. It makes your mind question what discernment already knows. It teaches your body to treat truth like danger, even when truth is the doorway to freedom. The next part will name that agreement clearly. It will show why you kept apologizing for your clarity. It will reveal the difference between humility and self-erasure. And when the hidden promise is exposed, the center of the weapon can finally be named. Remember this: your delay was not proof that you lacked authority. Your exhaustion was not proof that the gift failed. You were carrying separate pieces of a weapon that had not yet become one movement inside you. The pieces are visible now, but the center is still waiting. Archangel Michael did not come to teach you aggression. He came to restore order. He came to expose the vow that made you fear your own strength. And once that vow loses authority, you will understand why your greatest weapon has never needed chaos to win. Chosen one, the hidden agreement is ready to be named. It was never written on paper. No one asked you to sign it. You formed it when truth felt dangerous, and love seemed to depend on how small you could make yourself. The agreement sounded gentle. I will not say too much. I will not shine too brightly. I will make myself easier to accept. Each promise felt like protection, but every promise separated your spirit from your voice. You learned to soften warnings before speaking them. You called discernment fear. You called exhaustion kindness. You called self-abandonment patience, because admitting the truth would have required choices that might disappoint people you loved. This agreement did not make you weak. It helped you survive. It taught you how to read a room, avoid conflict, and preserve connection. But a survival promise becomes a prison when it keeps ruling after the danger has passed. The agreement says honesty will cost you love. It says boundaries will make you cruel. It says strength will turn you into the people who wounded you. So you keep your gift hidden, even while your spirit grows tired. This is what Archangel Michael came to confront. Not your enemies, not your past, the false law inside you. The law that says you must disappear to remain safe and stay useful to deserve belonging. Chosen one, you can release that law now. You can honor the person who survived without forcing that person to control your future. You can thank the old pattern and still remove its authority from your next season. The weapon inside you is not anger. It is not revenge. It is not force. The weapon is divine coherence. It is the state where your spirit, mind, discernment, stillness, and voice stop pulling in opposite directions. When this coherence returns, you recognize truth without panic. You hold silence without shrinking. You speak without needing to wound. Your presence becomes steady, and confusion loses the power to choose your response. This is why the weapon is beyond human history. It does not come from titles, institutions, money, or approval. It comes from an order deeper than every structure people have built to measure worth. Archangel Michael recognizes this weapon because ordered authority is the pattern of his service. He does not move from ego. He does not chase every disturbance. He remains aligned, and alignment makes chaos reveal its weakness. Your weapon works the same way. Discernment identifies what is true. Stillness refuses false urgency. Memory recognizes the pattern. Wisdom chooses the response. Then, your voice speaks from unity instead of reacting from an open wound. This does not make you greater than other people. It makes you responsible for what you carry. A weapon without wisdom becomes danger, but coherence joined with compassion becomes protection and freedom. Now the pieces can be understood. Your exhaustion came from receiving signals without boundaries. Your confusion came from sensing truth while training yourself to deny it. Your silence became painful because it was mixed with fear. That is the why. You noticed more than you had language to explain. You became tired because awareness operated without protection. You became delayed because every clear signal had to fight through guilt before becoming action. Now, the what is clear. The weapon is divine coherence. It is discernment, stillness, and aligned authority moving as one. It ends the inner division that allowed fear and old patterns to control your choices. And the who is clear. This message is for the watchman who confused sensitivity with weakness. It is for the cycle breaker who survived what future generations should never inherit. It is for the chosen one learning to carry power without becoming harsh. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders loosen. You do not need to prove anything now. The truth has reached the part of you that spent years waiting for permission to become whole. Now, a practical question remains. How do you support a mind that has lived in noise for years? How do you help attention return to order when stress has trained it to scatter? Researchers have observed gamma activity during periods of intense focus, integration, insight, and rapid connection between ideas. It is not a miracle claim. It is a measurable brain state linked with coherence. Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years studying how structured sound can support this kind of activity. His work draws from research connected with MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading institutions. The method is called brain entrainment. It uses designed sound patterns to encourage the brain toward a targeted rhythm. It does not place foreign power inside you. It supports access to clarity that stress and noise may have weakened. Earlier, I named a 7-minute audio and left the explanation unfinished. You needed to understand coherence first, because otherwise the tool would sound like another promise offered before the real problem was understood. The Genius song was created around this gamma-focused approach. It is listened to through headphones for 7 minutes. It does not require a long ritual, a complicated mantra, or hours of effort. But remember this, the tool does not manufacture a chosen one. It is designed for people who remember feeling sharper and more creative before pressure trained the mind to remain in survival mode. One woman understood that loss. She was 43 years old, a teacher in Texas, and she had spent years helping other people grow while feeling that her own life remained still. After 3 weeks of using the audio, ideas began returning without struggle. Then one morning, she made a decision that had been delayed for almost a year. Her story mirrors the chosen one who has poured into everyone else while slowly losing contact with personal clarity. The change began when she felt present enough to trust what was already waiting inside her. More than 18,366 people have used the program. Fewer than 4% requested a refund, which means more than 96% continued beyond the guarantee period. Perhaps you tried meditation, retreats, healing sounds, or personal growth programs. Perhaps each method helped briefly, but daily pressure returned and the mental fog came back. Brain entrainment enters differently. Instead of requiring you to force the mind into a deep state through willpower, it provides an external sound pattern designed to guide attention toward a more ordered rhythm. $39 can still matter when finances are tight. That concern deserves respect. It should never be dismissed with pressure or shame. The full value and protection will be explained next. Nothing will be hidden. You will know what is included, why the verified link matters, and what remains yours if the experience is not right for you. For now, hold the central truth. The tool is not the weapon. The audio is not your identity. It supports the coherence that lets discernment, stillness, and authority work together with less internal noise. You know what was buried, you know what buried it, and you know the weapon was never destroyed. The final choice is whether you will continue living disconnected from what heaven already placed within you. Chosen one, the final choice stands before you. Some people spend $15 each month on meditation apps. Others invest $100 to $200 in online growth courses. A single therapy session can cost around $150. Those options may help in different ways, but they are not designed to target gamma activity through a focused 7-minute sound method. Dr. Robert Lake compressed his work into a digital audio track that originally costs $49. Through the verified path connected to this message, access is $39 as a one-time payment. The audio is delivered directly by email. You can listen through headphones while sitting quietly. You do not need a mantra or an hour of forced silence. The practice asks for 7 minutes, and the intention is simple. Support the return of focus, clarity, and inner coherence. The access also includes 4 resources. Genius Child has a stated value of $19. The Classic Book has a stated value of $20. The Guided Visualization has a stated value of $29. The 5 Habit Infographic has a stated value of $12. Together, the 4 bonuses carry a stated value of $80. They are included with the core audio. There is also a 90-day protection period. If the experience does not feel right, you can request a full refund by email. No physical product must be returned. You still keep all 4 bonuses with the full stated value of $80. The path is clear, yet delay also carries a cost. Another month of mental fog can become another delayed decision. Another season of ignoring discernment can become another season spent repairing what your spirit warned you about from the beginning. You do not need to act from fear, but you should not pretend that inaction is neutral. Every day you repeat an old agreement, that agreement grows more familiar. Every day you choose clarity, a new identity gains strength. I also need to protect you from confusion. There are imitation pages and ordinary sound files using the name Genius Song. Some contain simple music without the brain entrainment structure described here. Do not search for it on Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, or another marketplace. The authentic path is the verified link in the description and the pinned comment. That path is connected with the original 7-minute audio, the 4 included resources, and the 90-day protection. Other pages may copy the name, but they cannot guarantee the same track. Follow only the path connected to this message if you decide this tool belongs in your next season. Pause here for one quiet moment. Take a slow breath. Place one hand over your heart. Ask yourself a simple question. Are you willing to keep living disconnected from the clarity you know once belonged to you? Do not answer from pressure. Let the answer rise from the part of you that no longer wants fear to make every important decision. If that answer is clear, the verified doorway is below. The original audio, the 4 resources, and the 90-day protection are available through the description and the pinned comment. Follow that path only if restoring clarity feels aligned with the person you are choosing to become. Now return to the deeper message. Your future will not be built by louder reactions, it will be built by cleaner decisions. You will notice when silence is wisdom and when silence is fear. You will recognize when compassion is love and when compassion has become permission for someone to cross your boundaries. You will stop explaining sacred decisions to people committed to misunderstanding them. You will feel the atmosphere in a room without absorbing every emotion within it. Your intuition will become a signal to examine with wisdom, not a burden to suppress. Choices once delayed may become clearer because guilt will no longer interrupt the truth. Some relationships will adjust. People who loved your exhaustion may resist your boundaries. People who benefited from your confusion may call your clarity pride. Do not become cruel. Do not become defensive. Let your consistency speak. A cycle breaker does not need every person to understand the new boundary. Your presence will also change, not because you are trying to appear powerful, but because inner conflict will no longer leak through every word. Calm will replace the need to persuade. Precision will replace over-explaining. Peace is not passive. Peace is a guarded condition that allows wisdom to remain available during pressure. Chosen one, place your hand over your heart again. Breathe slowly. Let these words become a declaration, not a performance. I release the need to explain my calling to those committed to misunderstanding it. I remove my agreement from every pattern that required me to become smaller. I no longer confuse exhaustion with love. I welcome clarity. I welcome discernment. I welcome stillness. I welcome aligned authority. I will not use my gift to control, punish, or dominate another person. I will carry truth with compassion. I will guard my gates with wisdom. I will listen before reacting, and I will speak when silence becomes self-betrayal. I release borrowed fear. I release false guilt. I release the pressure to rescue everyone. I can recognize pain without storing it. I can notice darkness without inviting it into my heart. I can leave a battle that heaven never assigned to me. I can remain present without surrendering my peace. What becomes whole in me will not remain broken in the generations after me. The people connected to my life will inherit clearer boundaries. They will meet a version of me that gives from fullness instead of depletion. My kindness will remain strong, but it will no longer be blind. I accept responsibility for what I carry. I refuse revenge. I refuse confusion. I refuse the old promise that safety requires my disappearance. My spirit, mind, voice, and choices are learning to move together. I do not need chaos to feel powerful. I do not need approval to know what heaven placed within me. Take one more breath. Let the old agreement lose its voice. You are not an emotional sponge. You are a watchman. You are not a weapon of destruction. You are a carrier of divine coherence. Your stillness is disciplined authority. Your presence exposes what your hands never need to fight. If this declaration belongs to you, write, I carry it with wisdom. Let those words mark the end of self-erasure. Like this message so another chosen one can find it. Share it with someone who has mistaken sensitivity for weakness. Subscribe if you are ready to carry spiritual authority without losing compassion. Archangel Michael did not come to place a weapon in your hands. He came to remind you that heaven had already placed one within your spirit. The strongest weapon is not the one that makes other people afraid. It is the one that keeps you from being controlled by your own fear. You know what you carry now. You know why it was buried. You know what agreement kept it divided. Walk forward without hatred. Speak without panic. Guard your peace without apology. The weapon is awake, and you are finally becoming wise enough to carry it.